Oh yes, you so happy. What is up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube vlog channel. Sorry I've been MIA. It's because I had this little chunk here. She is 2 months old as of yesterday. Today is November 13th. She turned 2 months on November 12th. Who are you getting angry with? Who are you throwing hands at? But for you guys today, I have my labor and delivery experience, as you can tell by the title. So I recorded everything up until I was about, yeah, till I was about 5 centimeters, and then after that, it was just, I couldn't have recorded because it was bad. You'll see. You won't see the videos because they're really pointless. It's literally me just saying, oh, look at this contraction. Oh, cool, it's this time. So it's literally pointless for me to even like show it in here. So I went into the hospital on September 10th at 7:15 at night. Unfortunately, because I was so terrified, obviously giving birth is terrifying. If you don't think it's terrifying, then I applaud you, because it's terrifying if you've never done it before. And I had no idea what contractions were like, and I was more afraid of contractions and pushing her out than anything, which obviously is the whole labor thing. But I was in there for about an hour or two, and they're like, Courtney, if you know her heart rate was in like the 180s to 190s. Like, it was really high because my heart rate was like 120, 130 because I was just terrified, and my like anxiety was, I do this because I don't really have anxiety, but like I was so anxious because of what was gonna happen. Look at those cheeks. And I was just so scared that like my heart rate was really high, and it eventually made hers be really high. They said, if you don't calm down, we're gonna have to do an emergency C-section. And that's what terrified me. And I wished I wasn't, I'm glad I was told that, but then again, I wish I wasn't, because that made my heart rate spike even higher. I was so terrified to have a C-section. Like, that was, you spitting up. That was my number one fear of giving birth, is having a C-section, because C-section is very, very hard. It's a serious surgery. I applaud anyone who has a C-section. It's terrifying, you know, to be cut open, and it's just scary. But they did give me some Benadryl around like 9 o'clock at night, on the 10th, and it calmed me down. It calmed her down, and everything was good. And then I started the Cervidil, because I was supposed to start the Cervidil as soon as I got there, but because my heart rate was so high and hers was so high, I couldn't. So I started the Cervidil at midnight. So at midnight on September 11th, and it was in for about 8 hours. She came in and checked me. I was only a centimeter, not even, and only like 60% of face. We're not gonna get angry here. No, we're not. Oh, you're so fake. Sorry, I'm moving up some because she's eating. So I was given the Cervidil at midnight, on the 11th, basically. What are you doing, homegirl? And it was in for 8 hours. She came and checked me. I was a centimeter and 60% of face. And when she was done checking me, I was like, okay, can I pee now? Because you can't pee the first 2 hours you have the Cervidil. But they gave me a total of like 5 IV fluid bags from like the time I got there until I got the Cervidil. So I was like, I had to pee every 10 minutes. It was annoying. So like, oh, you've had 5 IV bags, we don't need to give you any more. I'm like, oh, thanks, I'm really hydrated. Maybe that's why I didn't crave water or food or anything, because I had so many IV bags. But yes, so after she was done checking me, I went to the bathroom and I peed, and I pat dry, because you can't wipe because you can pull the Cervidil out. So when I pat dry, it came out on the toilet paper. And then they let me take a 30-minute shower, or they gave me 30 minutes. So I took a shower and like relaxed, and then they were gonna give me Cytotec. And that is a pill that goes up into your cervix to help you actually have contractions to start dilating, because Cervidil is just to help, she's very loud when she eats. Cervidil just helps soften your cervix. It doesn't help you contract and dilate. She's very loud when she eats. Homegirl, you good? I have dog hair. I don't know why I put lip gloss on, because I have like cat and dog hair all over my lips. But yes, I got the Cytotec, and that was, I never had contractions. So like when my last video said, oh, contractions, no honey, you weren't having contractions. It was just, I guess, Braxton Hicks, and even then it wasn't even contractions. It was probably like more so poop pains. But after I had the Cytotec, I got to like 2 centimeters. She came and like checked me, I was 2 centimeters, and my water broke. And I was like, oh, well, I know as soon as your water breaks, I've heard that your contractions get really, really bad. So I was like, oh, let me just get the epidural, like, try to be crazy. And I wanted to go all natural, but I actually wound up just doing, like, regular, like, pain medicine. It was supposed to last 4 hours. So my water broke around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So from midnight to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I only got 2 centimeters. That was my life. And I got just regular pain meds. They only lasted an hour. And they were supposed to last 4 hours, so that was great. So around 3:30, I was like, okay, well, let me just get the epidural. I said, this is what I said. If I get the epidural, will it last me all the way through my labor, like, and all the way through, like, delivery, and I don't have to worry about anything? And they said yes. I said, okay, I'll get it. So I finally got it around 4 o'clock or so, and they gave me the epidural. That was great. It was wonderful. And they were like, oh, did you feel a contraction? I was like, what? No? They're like, oh, that was a really bad one. I was like, oh, great. I was so deathly terrified of what an epidural was going to feel like, because everyone's like, oh, you're completely numb, like, you're paralyzed. First off, I don't know who the hell even started that rumor or that lie. I don't know. You have complete full motion of your legs. I was terrified. It never felt like my legs were tingly. It just felt like my legs were limp. But, like, I could, like, lift them up. I could, like, kick them back and forth, because that was what I was terrified of. You literally just couldn't, I guess, feel where the contractions are at in your uterus. You can completely feel your legs. So I don't know who made that up, but just don't be terrified, because you can feel your legs, okay? I did not want to do an epidural at all. I wanted to do complete natural labor. Keep that in mind, okay? So I went to epidural. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was always like, you know, I definitely don't want it, but I got it because I was like, okay, great. Listen, my plan was, heaven forbid, if I had to get the epidural, I wanted to wait till I was 5 or 6 centimeters. I wimped out, got it at 2 centimeters. And then around 8 o'clock at night, on September 11th, my epidural wore off. So I was 7.5, 8 centimeters at that point. So I woke up, I was sleeping, I woke up, I was like, why am I in pain? I, like, shouldn't be in pain because I have an epidural. But first off, I never felt the needle go in. I never felt it, like, I never felt anything. Like, I don't know if I just had an amazing anesthesiologist or what, but was it anesthesiologist? I don't know who does it. But anyways, I never felt it go in. I had complete movement of my legs. I don't know why I was terrified, because I watched all these YouTube videos and they're ridiculous, because you have complete movement of your legs and you're not numb, and I don't know why anyone even says that. The epidural is really nothing scary, other than the bad side effects that could happen regardless. But around 8 o'clock, my epidural wore off, and they came back in, and he's like, it shouldn't have worn off. And, like, you know, the button, you get a button that you can press, okay? So when it's not enough epidural, you can hit it and you get more. Well, you can get it every 6 minutes if you don't hit it so many times. I guess I don't even remember hitting it. Like, I don't ever remember hitting it. I hit it so much that it was doing it every 20 minutes. And they're like, well, hit your button. And I was like, it's not doing anything. They're like, oh, you're on every 20 minutes because you hit it too much, because, you know, you can't, I guess you can't, like, you can, like, overdose on it. I don't know what it is, but you can't use it more than, like, so many times in an hour. And I used it so many times in an hour to where I was doing it every 20 minutes. So that was horrible. And mind you, my contractions never went below 85 out of, like, 100, because it goes up to 185. So I was everywhere from 85 up to 100 once I was 7.5, 8 centimeters. Yeah. She's so noisy. Yeah. Yeah, so there's that. So he came back in. He's like, okay, we're gonna give you this one at no cost. So I got a whole epidural and a half for free, which is great. But I got a whole epidural and a half. Out of a total of 2.5 epidurals, it did nothing. It maybe worked for 5 minutes when he initially did it, and that was it. That was it. So I had 2.5 failed epidurals, which was great. So at 8 centimeters, I had nothing. It was all natural, which is initially what I wanted to do. But I had no idea what a contraction was, because I got on the epidural so early that I really had, like, little baby contractions that just felt like poop pains, like period cramps. I don't know, I've never had period cramps, but, like, just a little crampy. Hun, listen, I was full blown, like, oh, like, moaning and groaning. And I don't really moan and groan when I'm in pain. I normally just cuss, but it was it was painful, okay? And I couldn't have any pain medication, which really sucks. So I couldn't have any pain medication, no epidural. I was doing it all natural, which is what I initially wanted to do. God works in mysterious ways. But then they came in, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need a push. No. Then they came in and checked me around like 9, 10 o'clock. I hadn't progressed. So in 2 hours with no epidural, no pain meds, I didn't progress. They're like, okay, we're gonna give you Pitocin. Mind you, Pitocin speeds up your labor, or induces your labor, so it gives you contractions, you know, but they're not like natural contractions, they're like induced contractions, so it's forcing your body. Yay. So not only did I have no idea what a contraction was, I no longer had any pain meds, and then I was on Pitocin, and I still wasn't progressing. So midnight came around. Back up. So from hours 10 to hours 1, I only got to 9.5 centimeters. And I just wanted to push and push and push. And it got to the point where I was in so much pain that I was just moaning and groaning. My mom's like, Courtney, there are other people in this hospital. You need to keep quiet. I was like, I don't care. I'm in freaking pain. We're all in here for the same thing. I'm in excruciating pain. I'm not gonna keep quiet. I know those people had to hate me. They had to for me. Oh, they need to soundproof those rooms because I was loud. And she came in and checked me at like 2 o'clock after I kept saying I'd push. She's like, you're still, or it was like 1:45. She came in and I was like, I need to push. And she was like, you're only 9.5 centimeters. I was like, I said, bitch, what? Just like, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't. Like, I need to push. And she's like, if you wind up pushing, you can actually completely like damage your cervix uterus and have to give you an emergency C-section and you'll never be able to have kids, blah, 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 this whole thing. I was like, great. So she actually used her hand and actually moved my cervix around her head so I could get to 10 centimeters. Around like 2:10, I was finally 10 centimeters. Finally, 2 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, November 12th. Yeah, so then she's like, oh, are you ready to push? I was like, yes. And I was ready to push, and I pushed for about 25 minutes, and I knew when I was doing good pushes, and I knew when I was doing bad pushes, and she said, Courtney, I need you to continue doing 3 good pushes. You keep doing bad pushes, you know, we have to use the vacuum. I don't want to have to use the vacuum. The vacuum is actually very, very dangerous to use. It can actually cause like blood clots on the brain because they suction out the head, and they don't even work that much. You still need to push really well to be able to get the baby out. I was like, absolutely not. The only thing I was okay with having to alter like birthing would be an episiotomy, which is where they cut in between your cooch and your butt, that little area there, they cut that so it's easier for the head to get out. So she told me, and I knew I was doing good pushes. It's like literally pushing out a big poop. Let me tell you, pushing her out was the easiest part of my entire labor. Pushing a baby out is literally so easy for me. I don't know about for anyone else. It was so easy. I don't know if it's because I could feel it and I was like, I know I need to push. I know some people who have an epidural, they can't really feel it. They feel pressure, but they can't feel it. Oh, I could feel it. So, it's so funny. So she, what was she doing? So the whole time she was trying to get her out, she was putting mineral oil all over my area, so it could make it easier so I wouldn't rip, and it would just basically lubes it up so she could come out easier. Well, I was like, oh my God, there's something in my ass. And she was like, that's my finger. I was like, what is your finger doing in my butt? I was like, listen, this is exactly what I said. I said, I don't like butt stuff. I was like, this does not feel good. Can you please get out? She's like, if I move my finger out, you will rip completely open with a 4th-degree tear. And I was like, I'm not trying to have that. My mom had that with her first, with my oldest brother. I'm not trying to have that. It's where you rip completely from your cooch area to your butthole, completely open, so it's just a big hole. Yeah, we don't want that. So she's like, okay, so I could do a small incision, which is basically explaining to me what episiotomy is, excuse me. And I was like, yes, I don't care. And Daniel said as soon as she did that, her head came right out, which I know because I pushed her out. I could feel her head come out, and then I felt her shoulders come out, and then I felt her arms and legs, like, not kick my insides, but I could feel them, like, literally, like, flop out. Oh my god, it was so cool. It was so weird, but it was so cool. And yeah, and then the nurse told me it was the smallest episiotomy. The doctor who delivered her said it was the smallest episiotomy she's ever done in her entire career. I think I had like 2 or 3 stitches, if that, to get it there. And then I had to get one on the inside that she made, and then I laughed when she was doing my stitches because it tickled so much. She's like, I've never heard that in my whole career, that like of it tickling. I was like, it tickled, and which is hilarious. It never hurt. I guess she numbed me a little bit, but like I didn't even know, but it like tickled, so I jumped, so she had to do an extra one. So I had like 4 to 5 stitches. It was like nothing, and it was great. But yeah, homegirl came out weighing 8 pounds 1 ounces. 8 pounds 1 ounce. She was 22 inches long because she had a little bit of a cone head. She probably had like 1.5 inches, 2 inches of a cone head. But yeah, she's just everything. So she was born at 2:36 in the morning. I only pushed for her like 25 minutes or so. But they give you breaks in between. While I was pushing, I kept saying, I'm gonna pass out, so they gave me oxygen. And I was like, all right, let's go. I was like, I need to push. She's like, okay, go ahead. Like, I never waited for them, and like they counted for me, but like I never waited for them to tell me when to push. I just pushed when I felt like it, which was good, which was awesome. But yeah, that was probably the easiest part of the entire labor. I labored for actually started having contractions at 8 o'clock Tuesday night until, so I labored for almost 30 and a half hours. So I started having contractions at 8 o'clock at night on September 10th, and then I gave birth to her at 2:36 in the morning on September 12th. So it was a wonderful experience. It was very painful. Those contractions from 8 o'clock until I started pushing at 2 were very painful because of the Pitocin that induced them, and I didn't know what it was, and it was probably the longest 30 to 45 seconds of my life because they were 100 out of 100, 95 out of 100. They were just above 85, and it was back to back, and it was very, very painful. But all in all, it was absolutely worth it. And yeah, so that is my labor and delivery experience. If you want to keep watching this channel, please do, because right after this video I'm recording a postpartum update, which is actually really, really cool. So if you want to watch that, just keep on watching this channel. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. Please be sure to like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, share with your friends, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.